And welcome back everyone, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, the hardest career series. Today's episode will be continuing on with our experimental aircraft test flights with the latest version of the SST. It's the SST X-3, or the third version. It's been heavily modified compared to the previous test flight. So we're going to head into the aircraft hangar, and then we're going to join Ray, Val and Bill for the test flight in the desert airfield. Okay, so this is the SST X-3 experimental version 3. Some changes compared to the previous aircraft we tested. We have up to 20 crew, so it could take 2 pilots and 18 passengers, or 17 passengers if we need an engineer. Some of the contracts for passenger flights require us to have an engineer as well as 2 pilots, so all depends on what the contract wants. Okay, so we've changed the front end compared to the previous version. It's the F-111. It's the only aircraft nose cone, nose section we have that actually really fits right now. At least in this form factor of Mark 1. Other big change is the engine and centre of mass and the divertless air intake, which should slow supersonic air coming in through the air intake before it hits the engine down to subsonic speed, which would be very beneficial. At least in real life it's beneficial. We shall see how our engine copes here. Got a new engine, the KB198 Olympus, after burning turbofan. It's basically very similar in performance to the J404 Panther. Right now it's in wet mode. As you can see, at 15 kilometers at Mach 2, we're still getting 1.44 TWR. We've got a 20-minute burn time. Obviously, we know this lies, so I have to see exactly how many seconds we have. If we go even higher, if it's possible, to 20 kilometers, which none of our aircraft have been able to cruise at before, we get 0.51 TWR, which means we're going to be using full throttle, just about to maintain Mach 2. That'll give us nearly an hour. So hopefully get to 20 kilometers. We shall have to see. Let me put that back. Okay, so that is about it. We have, what do you seen that? 3 crew right now. We've got Ray, Valentina and Bill as our engineer. So if we wanted passengers, we could only take 17 passengers. But in full crew, we still got 1 hour 48, so nearly 2 hours worth of supplies for our crew and passengers, which is quite good. Slightly larger wings than before as well. Slightly larger. And we've got 2 trim tanks, slightly larger trim tanks than before in the forward section, as well as 2 more in the aft section. You just outline just there. So we can transfer fuel from the front to the rear, and obviously the tail as well, which is the bulk of our fuel. It's the largest, by far the largest tank we've got. It's the largest single tank. Wings, once again, have got fuel in. Each section should have some in. Yep. Okay, so that's about it. So we shall head out to the desert airfield. We're going to fly back, see how quickly we can get back to KSC and land. Hopefully it'll be quicker than the 2 hours we've already done it before now with our previous passenger aircraft. I'll just save that in case we haven't done so already. Okay, so we shall head out and join the crew at the desert airfield. Okay, so here we are at the desert airfield. We have Ray, Val and Bill. It's early morning, so hopefully it's about midday back at KSC. Just check to make sure the engines are on dry mode. Sometimes the loading rather mixes. We get one on dry and the other one's on wet, or vice versa. Okay, that's fine. Okay. SS is on. Reheat will remain off. for the majority of the roll off, or roll up. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, full throttle. Brakes off. Try not to use reheat, as you actually need to. Okay, we don't need to. Wow. It's got a very high takeoff rate though. Okay, V1. Rotate nice and gently. It's got quite an overhang between the tail and the rear bogies. Okay. Throttle back a little bit. I'm starting to get Mach effects at this altitude. Okay, so we'll turn onto course, about 90 degrees. Can find the autopilot. I'll use bank. We'll use level first of all. Now we know we have to use pitch this early because the aircraft is quite heavy at the rear. We don't want to we're doing Mach 1 already, good grief. Didn't really want to do that. So that is 5 degrees. That is 5 degrees, isn't it? Oh, okay. We'll go to 10. And we'll begin to bank on course. Turn SAS off, don't need that now. We're still accelerating, so I think we'll use the auto throttle arm for now. We'll maintain about 300 meters a second. Of course, in real life, you can damage engines if you go too fast at too high or too low an altitude. Okay, let's go to 90 degrees. I'll trust the autopilot for now. If it looks like it's going to go wrong, we will snatch control back. Okay, just over 7.5 kilometers. Starting to have a little bit of a problem, but we are quite high an angle of attack. We're having problems maintaining 300 meters a second. So we're going to engage the reheat. That should bring the throttle down. We'll carry on maintaining 300 meters a second, which is just under Mach 1 on ground speed. The airspeed will still indicate Mach 1. I've already explained that before in numerous previous episodes as to why that is. Okay, 8.5 kilometers. So we'll see whether it maintains that about 10 kilometers, and then we'll carry on climbing to 15, then hopefully to 20 kilometers. We'll increase the climb rate a little bit. Should be able to maintain 300 meters a second even in a pretty steep climb, which isn't 12 degrees, it's not steep, that's pretty shallow. Okay, so just past 50.5 kilometres. There's a slight trim issue, slight balance issue, but it's been resolved. Need to push some of the fuel out of the tail and into these two trim tanks slightly. Just so we've got that pitch. That just means the control surface is here. They're at 0 pitch. Okay, just about to pass Mach 1.5, Mach 1.6. 16.5 kilometres almost. So maintaining 12 degrees. We do have a lot of fuel remaining still. So that could obviously be causing extra drag. Mach 1.6. Fast approaching 17 kilometres. Okay, so we've trimmed and levelled out at 20 kilometres, just over. And we're maintaining Mach 2.1 at, that's well under 80% throttle. Yeah, I'd say it's just under 80%. Okay, so I think we climbed a little bit too fast. We've got a little bit too much fuel on board still. That's not too bad. So we will be, well, just 16 minutes of flight time already. We've got 10 minutes to go. Obviously some of the approach will be on subsonic. We can't possibly head in at supersonic speeds to KSC and try and land on it. On the runway there, so it's impossible, we can't do that, so this will increase slightly, so we'll say around about half an hour, 30 minutes or so. Okay, so just under 6 minutes to the KSC. 216 kilometres. Still maintaining Mach 2.1. And we have, we'll say at least about 50 minutes or so worth of fuel. Which is pretty good. So I'm to maintain quite a high angle of attack because we're just not going fast enough, or our wings aren't large enough. We can't really go any faster without risking the engines, and also risking using too much fuel up as well, obviously. So I think increasing the size of the wings might compensate and allow us to maintain at least slightly more shallow angle of attack. 8.75 degrees, which we don't really want it to be at. Okay, we'll head into the KSC. We'll follow the glide slope route, and we'll touch down hopefully within 30 minutes. Hopefully. Okay, so that's a Mach 2.1 capable passenger aircraft. We didn't go to maximum airspeed, but I believe that should clear the aircraft for carrying passengers. I'm going to do another 2 or more test flights first to balance some of those, get rid of some of those balancing issues. Still slightly off balance. Okay, fully recovered. Let's me clear those. No new ribbons. Obviously, we're not going to get any ribbons. Okay, so yeah, I think that's about it for the test flights as far as the episodes are concerned. So we have, coming up, before long, we have our first missions to Eve. I have to wait till it's somewhere towards the closest approaching the 75 days. And our continuation of our missions to Juno. They were the first of the space mission we'll be doing. Not too distant future. We're going to be carrying on with our prototype aircraft in the next episode. However, that's the end of this episode, so I've got time for today. So that's the first SST capable of Mach 2 plus. And it's sustained cruise as well at 20 kilometres. That's the first time I've actually been able to cruise at over 10 kilometres with our commercial aircraft. Alright, that's the end of this episode. If you enjoyed it, if you did, don't forget to click like, it is appreciated. Also, if you do enjoy the content, click that subscribe button, and sharing with your friends is very, very much appreciated. It does help the channel grow. Wish to leave a comment, ask a question, you're more welcome to do so. However, please remember I've got a moderator team who'll go through the comments before they get to me, so it can take a while for me to answer you, if I do get to you at all. I do try, but sometimes time beats me, as always. Alright, don't forget we have Discord, Facebook and Twitter. You can find it to all 3 of those platforms on the band front page of the channel. Alright, once again, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the very next episode. In the meantime, as always, take care. Bye-bye.